We are a nation blessed with people of diverse cultures, religions, languages, and opinions. It is ironic that we are now being ripped apart by our greatest strength, our diversity. We have allowed intolerance, insensitivity, bigotry, and nepotism to blind our vision of the greatness we can achieve working together as one. We may not have the same culture, nor religion, nor language, but we all belong to the same nation by the divine will of God. We did not choose to be Nigerians. Nigeria chose us. This nation is our divine heritage, and if we open our eyes, we would realize that what divides us pales in comparison to what unites us. And by the comparison and conciliation of our differences, we will grow until our differences disappear. Our unity cannot be willed by mere declarations, nor do we get unity by ignoring the questions that beg for answers. We must celebrate our diversity and debate our differences without fracturing our unity. Our strength is not in our numbers, but in our unity, because even the weak become strong when united. Nigeria unite.
This message is brought to you by Abuja Broadcasting Corporation, owners and operators of ASO Radio 93.5 FM Abuja, ASO Television DSTV Channel 392, Star Times Terrestrial Channel 127, Free TV Channel 507, People's TV Channel 285, and UHF Channel 38.
We are a nation blessed with people. Nigeria chose us. Celebrate our diversity and debate our differences.
Owners and operators of ASO Radio 93.5 FM Abuja, ASO Television DSTV Channel 392, Star Times Terrestrial Channel 127, Free TV Channel 507, People's TV Channel 285, and UHF Channel.
Welcome back. It's been Fct Decides election. As we said, as we say, that our reporters are all over the different area councils trying to get what's actually happening in most of these area councils and then feedback, give us the feedback of those happenings so that those who are watching us right now will be able to understand basically what's actually happening here in FCT. We've been expecting this election. We counted months, we counted days, we counted weeks, and now hours. Right now we are in it. Our reporters are gradually coming back from the field to tell us what they saw and how they are expected to see by the time the results are going to be announced. I have remained seated live and direct on this program, Fct Decides. A reporter, Jume Jibri, you watched her a while ago. She's back. It's a pleasure having you on the program, Jume.
Thank you, Topsy.
You are looking so energetic. I really enjoyed the coverage.
Yes, I did.
Yes. Where did you go?
I was at the LEA Gishu Primary School.
Yeah.
Yes, for the under the Abuja Municipal Area Council to cover the election. That's the FCT election, Area Council election 2026. And when we got there, we discovered that there were like 7 polling units that were in that particular location. Yes, they were put together in that location. And so, but out of the 7, only 1 was active because we noticed there was a low turnout of voters. And then I got curious. And so interacting with some of the residents who were also voters, they said the demolition that happened recently, especially the demolition of houses in that particular community, forced a lot of people out of their vicinity, and so they're now in other places. So it kind of affected the turnout of voters.
Okay.
Yeah. So
the few that you saw.
Yes. Yes. They were there. They casted their vote for the particular polling unit that was active. I think they had like 923 registered voters, and then they also had 46 accredited voters. And so those 46 cast their vote. And so, but we also spoke with the Dekechi of Gishiri community, Bala Akusu, and he called on the voters to embrace peace and to also accept the results in good faith and not to go into any form of violence. So the environment was generally peaceful. There were security operatives that were there to monitor the entire process to see that everything happened accordingly. So that's why the fact that they had like low turnout of voters, it was just generally a very peaceful election and a peaceful exercise.
Okay. Do you notice any glitch? That is the beavers.
The beavers worked. Yeah, it worked fine.
Okay.
Yeah, it worked fine. It worked averagely okay. Yeah, relatively okay.
The water would take like how many minutes?
No, it wasn't long. It wasn't long. I think
it was only like 2-3-5 minutes.
Yeah, 2-3-5 minutes. It wasn't even up to 5 minutes.
Wow, that's very good.
Yes.
So, by your assessment, Jume, this voter, the poor turnout, like you already mentioned, was as a result of demolition. Therefore, people left. You mean as they left wherever they go, they couldn't come back on the day of the election? Is it because of the curfew or what can I mean?
Not even with the curfew, because even if there is curfew, of course you know that. Restriction of movement. So even with the restriction of movement, I think that you have a pass as a voter to go out there to cast your vote.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't say that is responsible.
Okay.
Yeah, and I wouldn't want to say the reason why because the question we asked them was, okay, why do you think there's a low turnout? And they say a lot of people left because of the demolition. So that's like the reason that they gave. So people have their own personal reasons as well why they would not want to show up, but the general ones that people saw, okay, maybe likely this is a reason why they did not show up.
And I believe you didn't see anybody forcing you to vote a political party that probably he or she didn't want.
No.
And there was no coercion from the police harassing people around.
No, I didn't see any of such. What I saw was cordiality. It was a smooth process generally.
I expected at the end of the day, because soon after that, we know the time set aside by INEC.
Yes.
8:30 accreditation.
2:30.
The end of the work process.
Yes.
And the collation starts.
Okay.
The announcement will now follow immediately. What are you expecting, General?
Okay, well, I'm expecting, especially for this particular polling unit where we are, that the turnout was relatively low. So I think that it should be fast. Yeah, I think it should be fast, generally.
Jimmy, thank you so much for stepping into the studio to tell us how you felt when you got there. And I believe those who are really watching us must have heard you and even watched you, so to speak, to understand what's happening right now at this area council election here in the FCT. We're expecting the best, and I believe it's going to go out to be the best. Those who are still going to be there, don't forget that the registration, accreditation starts 8:30 to end 2:30. That doesn't really mean the voting will not exceed that time now. But don't forget that if you are not captured within 8:30 to 2:30, it then means by the time you come 2:30, after 2:30, you are not going to have access to that process. That means you have let go the entire process till another time again. So it's better wherever you might be and you are watching us on television, do make your way to where you initially registered and may participate in the process, because those who are right now in queue until it is finished with them, whether it's going to be by 10 o'clock p.m., they will be there until it's ended. I thank you so much, Junior, for being part of this program.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Well, that's how far this interview has gone. We are going to go back to my guest, but before that happens, we are going to take a short break. By the time we return, you get to hear more about this analysis concerning this area council election here in the FCT. Don't go away.
We are a nation blessed with people of diverse cultures, religions, languages, and opinions. It is ironic that we are now being ripped apart by our greatest strength, our diversity. We have allowed intolerance, insensitivity, bigotry, and nepotism to blind our vision of the greatness we can achieve working together as one. We may not have the same culture, nor religion, nor language, but we all belong to the same nation by the divine will of God. We did not choose to be Nigerians. Nigeria chose us. This nation is our divine heritage, and if we open our eyes, we would realize that what divides us pales in comparison to what unites us. And by the comparison and conciliation of our differences, we will grow until our differences disappear. Our unity cannot be willed by mere declarations, nor do we get unity by ignoring the questions that beg for answers. We must celebrate our diversity and debate our differences without fracturing our unity. Our strength is not in our numbers, but in our unity, because even the weak become strong when united. Nigeria unite.
This message is brought to you by Abuja Broadcasting Corporation, owners and operators of ASO Radio 93.5 FM Abuja, ASO Television DSTV Channel 392, Star Times Terrestrial Channel 127, Free TV Channel 507, People's TV Channel 285, and UHF Channel 38.
Nigeria as a free state in 20th century Africa is the need to revive the stature of man in Africa and restore the dignity of man in the world. Nigerians believe passionately in the fundamental human rights. We regard all races of the human family as equal. Under no circumstance shall we accept the idea that the black race is inferior to any other race. I appeal to all our leaders, far and near, to forget the wounds which were inflicted in cause of our internecine altercations. The love of our country should outweigh the love of our pedestals. The enjoyment of individual freedom under the law should mean more to us than our self-centered party programs and manifestos. Common dangers and common enemies alert us on the need for common security. Come and join Abubakar with me, Sadauna, Awolowo, Akitala, Ofarebe, Okpara, Ikoku, Aminu Kano, Ibrahim Imam, and Taka. Let us bind the nation's wound and let us heal the breaches of the past so that in forging our nation, there shall emerge on this continent a hate-free, fear-free, and greed-free people who shall be in the vanguard of a world task force whose assignment is not only to revive the stature of man in Africa, but to restore the dignity of man in the world.
Yeah. Welcome back, Dr. Joshua Bennett. Yeah. We are really on for this discussion this afternoon. We've been on with this matter since in the morning to where we are. I believe people are really following and they're getting interested, looking at the way things are. Of course, our reporters who have been assigned to carry out this special duty by monitoring the election in various places beginning to come in live and direct to give account of what they saw. It's very interesting looking at, we've been expecting it to be peaceful, though that the way they are really saying it. One key thing I want people to understand, Joshua, is for them to know that the 8:30 to 2:30 doesn't really mean that's when they close the election. Okay. But the accreditation and voting. So if you have 1,000 people who are still in a particular polling unit that have not voted, as we speak, it's already after 1. Doesn't really mean when it is 2:30 they will ask them to go. No. It's a person that will come after 2:30 that will not be allowed to be accredited. So if it is, this 1,000 people will stay till maybe 10 or 11 or 12 midnight. If it will take that long. So it's better for people to know that we need to really talk about that.
Yeah, sure. The point is that there is the start of accreditation, which is 8:30.
Yes.
And from what I gather, in some polling units, accreditation and voting is going on simultaneously.
Yes, it's some polling unit.
Precisely
people who understand the system.
What that means is that accreditation we see continue in such polling unit till 2:30.
Yes.
And
voting continues as well.
And voting continues as well.
Yes.
If there is no queue, it's okay. But if there is queue, that's where the problem comes in.
Yes.
Because that means that the voters may stay on queue till beyond 2:30 p.m.
Yes.
So it's a Herculean task for polling units with large population. It's going to be a Herculean task for them. I hope the authorities provided the necessary resources that will keep both the INEC staff, that's the ad hoc staff. Of course, they're only looking for candles. Without candles, you have your smartphone these days that you can use the light. But whatever be the case, let there be adequate security, so that if they beat beyond the 2:30 p.m. into the evening hours, security could be stepped up, given the peculiar nature the peculiar times we are in.
Yes.
So either way, let things be done right. The good aspect of it is that so far we've not had news of skirmishes here and there.
Yeah.
That's the good aspect of it. And we're also glad that there is good voter turnout in most of the polling units, except a few where, for reasons beyond the control of INEC, there is not really voter apathy, like Gishile, for instance. It's not voter apathy that is a problem. Yes. So there's a displacement of residents as a result of the demolition exercise. So either way, I think so far we have recorded a shift from what many have feared, from the voter apathy that many feared. Post 2023, we've recorded a shift. We are hoping that going forward, even after this election, coming to 2027, there will be, this election will encourage voters to turn out for the exercise.
The area council.
This area council election will encourage voters to turn out, especially for the FCT. We encourage voters to turn out. And I use this opportunity to call on all stakeholders. We've had reports here and there of grievances in some parts of the FCT against candidate imposition. And like I have said earlier, that is one thing that needs to be that everybody needs to be careful about. I told you, if the state does not intervene, unfortunately, even before mid-election time, we're already hearing cases of protests in some places against candidate imposition. And if a candidate is imposed on the people and collation is manual, the rest is left to imagination.
I know that after this process, accreditation, election, then the officers that have been assigned to those polling units will now move with these materials now to Area 10. That's another key place that most people would put their eyes on to ensure that nothing untoward happen. Because it can happen, anybody can. I've seen in so many places where, like now we have these polling units, particularly with the way Jume Jibril said, because of the demolition, and people have really relocated to God knows where they are. They might not come back for this election, and then they will actually let's share the votes. It can happen.
The votes cast?
Then the ballot paper, they will share among the polls.
Okay.
Yes, now.
Well,
And I know that, but usually they're supposed to leave it as the way it is. But most of the time that I've been opportune to cover election, when you get to a point, they will not say, let's share the votes. But you get to share these votes. Who then will now compare it? Which what do you call it? PVC will they use? But when there will be, because what happens usually, they will check the number of people that register and look at the number of people that came for the accreditation and see the shortfall and say, let's take it up by just inflating the figures to get to that level. It can happen.
Yeah, it does happen, and it's one of the many malpractices we are hoping will not happen going forward. My greatest desire, and the desire of many Nigerians and even international observers, is that if that real-time electronic transmission was inserted into the Electoral Act, it would have gone a long way to answer all these questions. Because, for instance, Karishi, where there is voter displacement, what that would have done is that the few persons or the few electors who came to cast their vote, it would have recorded real time.
Exactly.
That this is the population that cast their vote. Now, the post-election conversation will now begin to try to investigate into why there was that low turnout of voters. And then we will have the answers ready at hand. The answer being that there is urban renewal going on at Gishiri. There's urban renewal going on at Gishiri. And that's a valid excuse for that situation. But besides that, every other thing is left to manipulation.
And Dr. Joshua, many people, from the few number of people that the reporters allow to speak with them, are saying that most polling units, the people will come and they will not find their names or their photographs or whatever. Some kind of anomaly, that came into play. I remember this exercise wasn't just today. INEC implemented nearly everything according to the time set aside for each thing to happen at one time. And they maintained that particular structure laid down by Professor Mahmoud Jega. The incumbent national chairman, Professor Joash Ojo Amupitan, is following the same pattern laid by the former INEC chairman. Nothing happens outside, the time frame or what that thing ought to have happened. Now, I remember they constantly told people, those who have registered, or probably you registered you registered in Lagos, and now you have been transferred to come to Abuja. They equally told some of these individuals to, as quickly as possible, find a place that you are staying, and then go back and then go with this information so that you can be keyed into a polling unit. So that you don't come at the end of the day like the way some of them are complaining today, that they didn't see their names as also polling units, also this, because of the mix-up. It's not as if this particular mix-up was deliberate from the INEC. But even at that, if these people who are today saying there's a mix-up, if they had come earlier at the time they said, go and cross-check. You remember, there will be display of names. Go to your polling unit for some time. I remember there was this time they said, including Sunday, Saturday and Sunday. Go there, check. If there's anything you didn't understand, report back so that it could be corrected. Now, most of them, because we are chasing food, trying to survive, they couldn't do exactly what they should do. Now that they are going to vote, because they are so interested to choose or to elect leaders of their own conscience, they have now gone and have discovered
their names are
not in the way they should. I cannot really say INEC is to be blamed in this case.
It's the human cost of the election also. I remember when I wanted to get my PVC, I kept telling myself, I will go. I kept postponing getting my PVC.
Yes.
Not until one day I asked myself, if election is to be conducted tomorrow, and you really want to vote, you don't have a PVC, who will you blame?
It's not INEC.
Of course it's not INEC. INEC has set the machinery in motion. It is for these people to now look for a time within their schedule. Still out the time within their schedule and go do the needful. Now, in this regard, they disenfranchise themselves.
Yes. INEC said, in case your PVC is destroyed, come for the renewal. If it is broad that we cannot really understand, come for the renewal. If you have been transferred to another place and you want to vote, assuming you are living in Amag and now you are in Abaji, come so that you will not take this thing there and choose the polling unit you are living very close and get registered. All these processes were captured and also announced. Media was properly briefed, and we are actually doing the job as INEC really wanted it to be done. Now, most of these people are complaining. The one that Yemi, joined us with from Pape, most of them, the councillor was also complaining similarly. Jume, who had just come here, is complained almost the same thing. So it's not necessarily the failure on the side of INEC, but sometimes, like you said, ourselves, we fail to do the right thing at the right time, and then we wait until the hour has come, and then start rushing. And when you rush, usually you don't get the perfect results.
I think people need to be educated that voting is a civic responsibility. They need to be educated on that. Of course, you cannot make it mandatory because they also have the right to go out there to choose who to either vote or not vote. But in such cases as we have today, where people go to polling units and they see in the display sheet their names and their photographs are now there, it's left, they have to be blamed. Nobody else is to be blamed, except if they want INEC to make, or they want the government to make it mandatory. That if you don't vote on a certain day, there are penalties on ground. And for me, that doesn't make sense at all. That doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense.
Another way of election malpractice is sometimes being done by politicians themselves in connivance with
INEC staff.
INEC officers. In a situation, you will see like if you are popular in this particular unit, they may delay sending the sensitive materials to that particular unit on time, making people to overstay. Some of those who overstay, and then they will not start going back home. Then they will not come with very few number of ballot papers, and sometimes
numbers that will guarantee your failure.
They will tell you that's the number we have, and you have nowhere to see INEC officials to ask them why is this so, because it has been skewed towards making that place not to get
unfavorable for you.
Because of the candidate, it has the acceptability, and so to make sure that he doesn't get it is to do exactly like that. They create artificial scarcity of these materials, so that few people will vote over and above those that really wanted to vote. And then it's a minus, because in any election, any vote cast is a plus to the politician that seeks that particular position.
Yes.
And when you are denied, it's a minus to you. If you are denied so many polling units, that's a minus. Now talk about at the end of the day, the number will be inflated in favor of the person that I really wanted. Then you now sit down and say, and then when they go to check the ballot paper, they will notice that actually in your own unit, they only had 4 ballot papers. Over and above people, 100 or 200 people that were accredited. No materials. That's another area that people need to take care of.
In every sense of it, there is a need to create a check and balance machinery to oversight the functions of INEC. I would have said the National Assembly is there to do that. Again, you and I know whether this National Assembly is for the people or the people for the National Assembly. What I know is that it's the people for the National Assembly and not the National Assembly for the people. If it was a National Assembly that is for the people, they would have, in such cases, they would have done proper oversight function on institutions like INEC, like other government institutions, to make sure that they are living up to their mandate, to the mandate given to them. But it is to the good of the National Assembly members that there are hitches or glitches, that's the language, technical glitches in the voting process, so that those of them sitting on that seat could either consolidate their hold
they give way.
Or in fact, not even give way, because if there are breaches, it will be in their favor.
In their favor.
So they will return and continue to pass laws that are not in the interest of the people. Yeah. They will continue to pass such laws. So maybe the Nigerian democratic process needs to be reviewed. Some persons say Nigeria is a journey, and we will get there. Between now and when we will get there, who suffers the brunt of it all?
The masses.
The masses. The masses. Why still on FCT elections? Look at the issue of insecurity today. Why we are working towards, evolving to a better security situation in Nigeria. What about those who have lost their loved ones? When we eventually get there, who becomes the collateral damage for that journey? So things need to be done, and not only done right, but done on time, so that the polity will develop at a minimal cost to the people, whether cost in human, whether human cost or material cost, time cost, whatever form of cost. But the right policy should be put in place to ensure, and politicians also should understand that, look, for instance, the National Assembly, very sad, on a very sad note, how many lawmakers has the National Assembly lost in a few months?
Yeah.
In about 5 months from today.
So disheartening.
So the politicians at all levels need to know that whether you are a politician in office, you are a citizen or whatever, this place is like a theater. Let's just do our part and go. And in doing our part, let's look at the larger good and do things that will benefit the larger whole, not a micro interest.
I've been expecting to get feedback from one of our own, that's Mukhtar Abdullahi. He actually covers area councils here on National Radio, who gives us information concerning the area council, because he takes charge of the southern part of the area councils, Abaji, Kwali, Kuje, Wabalada. I have been expecting him to really come up with one of the stories that can really tell us how it has been in that area. Very many of them, Rosemary is a colleague there.
Okay.
But I do believe that one of the challenges most of them have encountered, and are still even in the country, is the movement restriction. So that movement restriction, except for those who decide to leave very early, like the way you and I, we have to come out very early to ensure that nobody stops us on the run. Now, nobody really stopped us. We kept driving until we get to this point, because we consider this exercise to be crucial. And so most of them who are yet to make contribution try to tell us, let's get to know what's happening, or what has even happened, and then what is likely going to happen, so that we'll put these facts together for those who are watching us right now, getting the details of this election, though far away from home, they know that this is what is happening. Like, we don't have to be in Kuje Kwali or Wogolada to know. The reports that are coming from our reporters will not provide that opportunity for those who are right now watching us. So, looking at the INEC, the new law that was signed by President, is taking effect with this
FCT elections,
and then the off-cycle election that's happening right now in Rivers
and Kano,
and then Kano. So I believe that some of the do's and don'ts of that particular act will be seeing the implementation of it. Even if by the time it is done and somebody goes to court 6 to find whether he has been denied of, they will use this particular electoral act to determine the outcome of how the judgment will be like.
Yes.
Which means they have jettisoned, or they have set aside completely the act that we used to call Electoral Act 2022.
Of course, this by the virtue of the National Assembly rescinding and repealing the 2022 Act and then amending it, re-enacting it, and then the president assenting to it, it automatically invalidates the 2022, and what we have now is the 2026. Of course, the test ground is here, the FCT Council election. How far it will go, we will see between now and Sunday.
Sunday.
By Monday morning /afternoon, we should have known how it will go.
Let it be tomorrow. Let it be on Sunday.
Well, I hope that the collation process will be speedy. It should be done quickly and transparently enough, because if you take, you remember the presidential election of 2023. You know, part of the things that made many Nigerians to lose confidence in that election, even before the Professor Mahmoud Yakub read out the result of the election, was the delay in calling out the result of the election. It took about a day or 2 days after the election proper to call out the result. So such delay casts doubt in the mind of the electorate. Why is it taking this long? Is it being cooked as usual? Is it are the figures being manipulated? What abracadabra is being done in the collation center? So we hope that the INEC, the FCT rec of INEC, will redeem his, not even redeem, will uphold his image. Let me use the word uphold, because for now there has been no saga to make you ask for redemption of image. We hope he will uphold it and then, save the council and the electorate from whatever bad blood or negative public perception that will create.
Okay. Yeah, of course, it's very clear that indeed we've been analyzing the election here in the FCT. It's become very interesting. I must confess, Dr. Joshua, that we really put every aspect into analysis, so that people will look at it in any direction, will know that indeed it was discussed at a point in time. But all that we're expecting, like the way at the takeoff of this discussion, you talked about peace. Let there be peace at the end of the day, the entire process. And we do believe, like the way it has started, and we just believe that it's going to end peacefully, right?
Yeah, sure.
Peacefully, so that at the end of the day, the result will be announced peacefully, and then at the end of the day, we're not jubilated as well.
Peacefully.
Yes.
And society continues to peacefully.
It would be like the other day when Led Buhari was declared winner in 2015, and I just closed from the office, also radio, like the way it is, and I was driving home. I never knew that. I knew very well that he was going to win, but I didn't know that people have poured out on the major. I was driving, going home. I just saw some young boys, they climbed the car, and they forced me to collect a bunch of broom. And looking at the way, sometimes euphoria can lead to danger. I said that happiness that brought about the death of
a couple of them died that period.
That is it. So I was like, what stops me? What is the difference if I collect the broom? Though that time APC wasn't in our mind. Today, today APC is all over the place. For the fact that Southern Kaduna is APC. Southern Kaduna believed in PDP as a religious. PDP was like a religion to them. Today, no single PDP person, very few of them are left.
Wow.
We have all moved to APC. Because this particular administration, both at the federal and the state levels,
has been good to
the people of Southern Kaduna. We've been so thankful to Tinubu and so thankful to Basani. That's why our people decided, even talking to the dead ones that were so join us. Well, that's the way it is. And so we believe that more and more of these stories that you didn't get to know, the news
angle, we'll be coming up with some of them so that you get to know basically what's happening. Now, by the time we transit from here, we're getting to know the coalition center so that we're telling you who the winners are, the parties and the and their candidates.
That would be a good one. Okay. And then let the announcement come one after the other as the results fall in, so that people can know their fate. And again, as I keep saying, let the state play. I understand the interests of the powers that be, the political party, the governing political party, but we are only politicians. There are only political parties. There are only contestants if there is a state. So the grand norm is to have a country.
That's
to have an FCT.
That's number one.
That's number one. You cannot eat if there is no food in the first place.
That is it.
So whatever you do, whether as a civil society person, as a member of the media, as a politician, as whatever you are, just know that you are only doing that because there exists a country and there exists an FCT. Please do not do anything to endanger that.
Okay. Dr. Joshua Bennett, I want to really appreciate you. You have been a friend to the house.
Yeah, absolutely.
I always like you. You are frank in your comments and then ready to do whenever I ask for your attention to either to be with us live in a program like this one. You always accept and willingly glad to do that. I thank you so much for being part of this Fct Decides on ASO television. Like I said, we have it on television, DSTV channel 390, and then we are on radio 93.5, and then we are all over the social media. Just click and get to know basically what's going on with the FCT Area Council. We do believe that justice was done to whatever discussion we had here with my guests. We shall be getting to know more by the time the Coalition Center comes up with an idea of when this thing will to start. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Gimba. I appreciate it. It's always a pleasure being here.
Thank you. Well, viewers, that's how far we can go with this wonderful discussion we've had today on FCT Decides 2026 Area Council election. We thank you so very much, most especially our reporters who have gone so far as to Abaji. Those of you in Kwali, those of you in Gobolada, those of you in Kuje, those of you in Amma, those of you in Buhari, we thank you so very much for whatever effort you did. Like I often say, be watchful. It's important to stay alive than you becoming news. Again, it's Topsy Gimba. See you and bye-bye.
name is Abubakar Umar Abdullahi, Executive Chairman of Abba Area Council. At the same time, the candidate for chairmanship of Abba Area Council under the platform of APC. So far, so good. The process is good, and the environment is calm. As we can see, the electorate, there is no complaint. I just asked the INEC staff, is there any challenges? They said that there is no any challenges. It's just that it's slow of the leaders, but they are working on it.